Jai Shraddha Sampanna Pinutuni. Dear friends, it is very nice to be with you. And any of do you know what is the topic for today? Uh, it's about a love letter. But what is the first part of the topic today? Usually, a love letter is a kind of attractive and interesting part. But I have heard and I studied a lot about the literature. Love letters are not really nice at the end. It mostly it is a tragic at the end of the stories or something. I don't know how, but even the topic that we are going to talk today also the same. I even don't want to share this story with our kids. Bante Mehta is going to do a class for you. එච්චරට අමාරුයි මේ කතාව. Huh? No, just listen. So it is, the theme is journey to Arahantship through a love letter. That is the theme. This is actually a true story. It has happened in the ancient Sri Lanka. Um, though the Sri Lanka is a small island, at that time uh, it is a fair amount of big country. That might be the reason there were a few different kingdoms in the country at this time. This particular incident happened in Sri Lanka. So it runs to actually back to uh, 300 to 200. To 200 BC. Have you heard there was a tsunami in Sri Lanka long ago in the history? Have you heard that? But they did know about the tsunami at that time, and also even we didn't hear that term tsunami until it happens recently, 2004, to Sri Lanka. It's a completely a foreign word for us, but same kind of thing happened in the history. So that is the only thing that we have heard about, but there is a story behind this catastrophe. uh, I'll tell you the story first before we start the the spiritual the spiritual part of this story. The first part is about the love letter, but the beginning part, the second part, you can see there was a spiritual part. Uh, There was a monk. Uh, Actually, at that time, the monks are the leading role that they had in the education. Monks are giving the education. So, uh, education always centered to the temple, and people go to the temple and studied all different languages and also the subjects they studied uh, uh, through the monks support. So monks are the leading role in education at that time. So, in this incident happened in somewhere in closer to western province in Sri Lanka. It is Kalani Vihara. In that area, that is the kingdom, Kalani kingdom. The name of the king is Kalani Tissa. So there was a monk called Kalyani, and he's a very educated monk, and he's teaching students. There were two students came to this monk, and they were princes. They came to the this educated monk and studied under him. They were very good in studies. They studied well. All different areas mm, that we need to become even a king. Law and all other how to um, uh, govern a country and all other stuff they studied under him, because monks are well educated because of the Indian influence to the monks. They know about the Sanskrit, Pali, and those are the main languages at that time to uh, share the knowledge. So, in the Sanskrit literature, Sanskrit actually it's a well developed informations, and also very important knowledge about the law and order and how to govern a country, and all of those through stories they transfer that knowledge to their students. So the same tradition came to Sri Lanka, and so it was very popular. If you go to the monks, you can learn a lot. Even actually, you used to think even today, you used to come to the temple to learn something. And also, you have sometimes it might be a misunderstanding, but still you have that monks know everything. So people used to come and ask from the monks. Anyhow, this Venerable Kalyani is a very famous monk at that time, and these two people came to study under him, and they are studied very well. And uh, after their education, they went back to their kingdom. Later on, one of them became a king. After he became a king, he thought that it is good to pay back as a tribute to our venerable teacher. It is good to invite him for the lunch every day, and also accepted this invitation. And venerable monk used to come to the palace to have the lunch dana every day. The other prince, actually he became the assistant of the king, and he was very close to this king, and they were ruling the country nicely. In the meantime, there was something interesting happen. This assistant fall in love with the queen. And at the beginning, it was as usual, it was so nice, and they smoothly went through it. And suddenly, it happens that this news falling to the ears of the king, and he get to know about that. And just after he knew this news, that he actually chased him away, the assistant, and he ran out from the kingdom and hid somewhere. And he was thinking a plan how to send a message, how to send a love letter to his loving this queen. So while he was thinking, actually, still that venerable teacher is every day used to go to the palace, and he is having lunch there, and he's leaving. It was a regular thing happening at the palace. That the prince who fled the kingdom, he was thinking how to send a message to the queen. And he found a person, and a man. He asked him to disguise as a monk and go behind my teacher. And he practiced several days, and he disguised as a monk, and he went behind the teacher, and he had the lunch same as the teacher. And the teacher and the king misunderstood about the person who is coming behind. Monk, the teacher, thought that he is a friend of the king. So he did not ask any question from this new monk, disguised person. And also, king thought that, he might be uh, my teacher's friend or disciple. So he didn't ask any question. He came behind him after several days and weeks. Then that assistant, the friend who fled away from the kingdom, asked him and give him a letter. Uh, it is a ola leaf and written down the loving information, and give it to him and ask him to bring this and go behind the venerable teacher and drop this letter that can see to queen. Actually, at the end of the lunch, he did the same thing as the person asked about. Unfortunately, queen, the king, before get the letter come to the queen, suddenly, and uh, king noticed that something dropped and heard the sound. And when he was looking at, there's a ola leaf, and uh, king took that piece of ola leaf and read it, and oh, it is it is a love letter. And he got mad, and actually he decided to kill both monks, the disguised one and also the teacher, because he thought these letters exactly from my friend who fall in love with my queen. And because my this teacher taught very well how to write the letters. So he thought exactly, no doubt about this, it has come from there, but they are the people who brought this letter to the palace. And he decided, the king became really angry. The, the, the the other side of the love is still it's anger, hatred, ill will. And if you read in a lot of stories and the literature, even you can see it is a tragic. So same thing happened in here. According to the history, Mahavansa, you have heard the history book. Still, it is writing in Sri Lanka. It is called Mahavansa. In that book, uh, you can see couple of stanzas regarding this incident, not in detail regarding this incident. And then what happened actually, according to the later development of this story, it was tragic, and I do not even want to share this story with kids, that because of this brutal punishment. You don't. I don't want to mention about that kind of punishment. Same thing happened in monarchic governments when the kings rule in there. Actually, if you go to the Jesus Christ, the same thing happened, and it was a brutal punishment. So in this story, also you can see the same kind of punishment. What happened? This king ordered to bring a big, uh, huge pot and put some oil there and boil the oil. Yeah, and ordered to put that teacher into that boiling oil. That is what the story says in this. It's a historical kind of event. It is not something fall, and it is a true story according to the history. Uh, but something happened interesting there. This monk, as I mentioned, he's a very learned one, and he used to practice meditation. He knows deep teachings of the Buddha. What happened uh, while he's burning on this, in this boiling oil pot? He start to meditate instead of being upset and uh, regretting and having this complaining on the pain. He started to practice meditation. According to the history, before he died, before he died, he concentrated his awareness to the death and purified his mind with the practice of vipassana, and he attained arahanthood. He did not uh, worried about the punishment. And that is the story. And think about for a while before I go to the second part, and think about this punishment in one hand, and also the result of this end result of this story. Yes.
So would it be correct in saying that he burned his karma, his negative karma,
Yeah, there is
before he
another
died?
story behind that, but I do not want to go to that part of this
Okay.
story. That because my very important thing in my knowledge is how somebody can attain the arahanthood while burning uh, uh, in a boiling oil pot. Can you just even imagine that kind of thing? Do you think it is true or untrue? What do you think about that? It is a recorded story in the history. In Mahavansa, it talks about in 22nd chapter with couple of stanzas. It talks about such an incident has happened In the Buddhist, we can say it's because this story happened behind in the background of the Buddhist practice, so it is a kind of sad in one hand. On the other hand, it's a miraculous story behind this.
Would it be about letting go of your life, or he let go of his life?
Yeah, that's what happened. For the death, how long it takes.
Did he know he had to come back again, or was this his last time around?
Because he attained arahanthood.
So it'd be his last time around.
We don't want philosophically and based on the teachings of the Buddha, we do not want to say it is the last birth.
So it'd be kind of like Bodhisattva. But
He is a true educated Buddhist meditator. So he, when he was dying in this boiling oil pot, he meditated and he practiced the vipassana. Have you heard the vipassana? Vipassana bhavana of Punukala.
So it's the power of the mind.
That is the power of the mind. Unfortunately, when we are going through the death, we are experiencing death, actually, we lose our awareness and we confused in that particular moment. Unfortunately, we confused. In this modern world, they use some medications to slow you down, but that is not a real solution from the Buddhist point of view. As true practitioners, you have to train, actually. That's what it happens here in this story. If you are able to train yourself how to face the death, then you have developed a kind of mindfulness to face the death without any um, uh, disruptive and confusing state of your mind. Because I have some experiences uh, uh, with the dying people. I very closely monitored and helped them. My experience is it was like myself even dying with them, that kind of experience. So they do not, the person who are dying does not want to die all alone. He needs someone at that state of mind. He needs some mental support. Somebody is with me when I am dying. I'm not just giving up everything what around me, and I do not want, the person do not want to give up the other relationships what he is having. So it is a very sensitive moment. So when we carefully study the mind of the dying person, it is a very special moment in our life. It is just a nanosecond will be. It is not a long time. Just if you are able to focus to your attention to your mind and strengthen your awareness and deeply penetrate the situation and refocus your attention to the real experience of the death, and then and there you are able to let it go. you cannot do without practicing the letting go. Letting go can only practice through the vipassana, insight meditation. Same thing happened in this story. This monk who involved into this mad love letter, and finally, actually, he earned wholesome credit into his life. What I want to especially mention here, uh, it seems a kind of brutal, unpleasant story in one hand, but on the other hand, it's a kind of spiritual, wonderful story. You know, the lotus is not blooming on a nicely uh, treated soil somewhere on a fragrant place. Underneath the water, the muddy, filthy water, it grows and come out from the water, and even it is not touching this filthy water. So, in this story, the monk who gave the studies to these people, and actually not only giving teaching, he has cultivated his inner strength to face to the death. We don't know exactly where the death will occur. We don't know exactly how it would occur in our life. It might be having an accident, uh, meeting with the accident, or the brutal, the moment that we are facing to the accident, how hard it is. How can we focus our attention to our death when we are having that kind of brutal pain all over the body? So, very easily we confuse and we lose our peace in mind. Exactly, that is the first hand experience can occur in our mind. We lose the attention, we lose the peace in mind. But practicing mindfulness on the death, you constantly prepare yourself to face the death. Death won't be a foreign incident into your life. If you notice that in our in breath and out breath, what is truly happening there? In a single out breath, you are dying. Your death occurs each and every out breath. That is the reality. That is what the that we can practice. This is a kind of you misunderstand without proper understanding about the teachings of the Buddha. It won't be able to understand by touching the surface of the teaching, but actually that is the training that you have to have anytime, anywhere, under any situation. This unpleasant experience can occur into our life. That is what this monk practiced in his entire life, and even while he's going through this kind of punishment, he did not practice any so-called worries, any other lacerations in his mind, any other wounds. He did not maintain any psychological wounds, scars in his mind. He keep it very pleasant and quiet and peaceful. And instead of being worried and all sort of bad mentalities, he let go all of them, and he practiced the patience, and he faced silently, peacefully to the death. What do you think? Still, I'm in this particular moment. How can it happen? If you focus your attention to the present moment, what do you think? Of course, any of us are not ready to accept right now this, but if it is unavoidably happening into our life, what can we do? What can we do?
But get ready for that.
Yes, we have to get ready for that. That is the ultimate goal in this practice. It is not just only calming down our mind and relaxing our body and having pleasant time in meditation. Of course, we have all those benefits, no doubt about that. But that is not the pinnacle of this journey, ultimate goal in this journey. The ultimate goal in this journey is that you prepare your full awareness to the death. If you are able to peacefully face to this event, it won't be a tragic in life. It is a pleasant and it is a beautiful moment. It is a beautiful moment. Only thing that we are not ready, only thing that we don't know how to prepare ourselves. Otherwise, actually, it is a pleasant moment. When a ripened fruit is falling down from the stem, uh, what is happening? The stem is ready to give it up, and the ripened fruit is ready to detach. It is very natural. In our case, because of misunderstanding, because of unnecessary attachment, because of lots of ignorance, we are not ready to experience one of the most precious and pleasant experience in this tragical experience. In one hand, of course, this monk is facing such a brutal punishment. On the other hand, his concentrated, well trained, full focus awareness help him to get out from this samsaric circle and attain the nibbana. Actually, that is the essence of this story. Usually, some people will think about the other people who have committed this sinful act, or the who sent the letter and who received the letter. All those stories are the tiny, unnecessary areas of this story. In my understanding, the most focal point in this story is the last breath of this monk. Last breath of this monk. It is a kind of a very uh, important moment that we all have to focus our attention. It is a rare moment. Again, you have to understand, though we have all those relationships, whatever the wealth that we have, whatever the credentials that we have, whatever the relationships that we maintain, still the death is a common, unavoidable factor in our life. What we have to do again and again, practice diligently, practice the to accept, ability to accept it. That's what happened in this case. Yes, I need questions.
It
Yes.
seems like our culture
Mhm.
is about fearing death. I mean, we're afraid to die.
It is not only one particular culture, human
No, but
mind
here
in general.
in your culture, there's reincarnation. In this culture, not so much.
But even in any culture, in especially in today's religions, you have hell and heaven. What's truly happening there? You believe rebirth. It might be in the hell or it might be in the heaven. So the reincarnation or rebirth, whatever the term that we use, we still believe some sort of substance is traveling from this body to somewhere else.
Well, it always begs the question, like, why? What is the purpose in the first place?
The first place means
Uh, Being born, like, why are we here? Like,
it is too late to too late to answer, find an answer for this cat. It has happened already. It has happened that the it has already happened that we do not have any point to ask that question, of course, but it's still you can ask, and you have a wonderful answer for this question in the teachings of the Buddha. But I mean, if you don't have so much knowledge and the time to analyze and find deep answers for all of these, what very simply can we do? Prepare yourself. Just preparing yourself for the letting go, not just the material world, our inner yourself. Yes.
I was thinking of one story that Bhante, Gunarathala said one day.
Uh-huh.
He was flying
Yeah.
and the plane was like, everybody thought it was going to crash. So people are telephoning and everybody was so upset. But Bhante said he started to meditate.
Mhm.
in the
I
plane.
also heard that
He
story
started to
Bhante was
meditate.
telling. Yeah. That because of his training. That is as we Buddhist actually we have to strengthen our awareness. Actually, that is the simple thing. There is no mind so called. I always emphasize that it's a misunderstanding about all of those informations about the mind and so forth. But you have awareness. If you are able to relax, purify your awareness, and just contemplate your awareness to the real incident, what is happening in the death, even without, even actually, you do not have time to think about anything. You just have a pain and you paint.
How do we practice not having that attachment to ourselves?
Very good question, actually. Before you not attach to yourself, you have to deeply analyze. I mean, with the support of the teachings of the dependent co-origination and some other teachings, actually, you have to deeply analyze yourself. Are there any substance or any essence or self within? You have to get a clear-cut answer for this question.
Is there
Then,
even a clear-cut answer for that question?
pardon?
Is there even a clear-cut answer for that question?
Actually, if you analyze this body and mind, what is truly happening here? I mean, there is a term, it is a psychophysical organism. Only thing is that we have trained ourselves from the beginning to the end. We have trained ourselves to claim an ownership. It's a deeply rooted uh, unnecessary training. Unfortunately or unfortunately, it has to happen in our life because moms and dads, in their entire life, they train their kids. Our moms and dads, they have done it for us. It is not easy to unwind this kind of terribly winded entanglement. But if you are able to unwind it, and you will realize that there is no so called entity, it is just only a belief. At the same time, you have to understand with this the deep ethical values. We need some ethics to understand this deep teaching. Otherwise, you are in a you are not in the right direction. The values, we have to have the ethics to analyze this deep teaching. So, sila and panya, virtues and the wisdom goes hand in hand. You have to practice both hand in hand, very balanced manner. So, when I am saying that there's no so-called substance, it won't be a answer right now. But truly, that is the experience that you can have through the deep understanding, the deep realization, and we need some time to understand this. So that is why we emphasize in the teachings of the Buddha, we have two techniques. Samatha, samatha means actually we train our mind to focus. And then the vipassana, we penetrate and deeply observe and understand each and every incident. That is called the vipassana. It is a sharpened tool that we use for our purposes. Sharpen, well-focused flashlight. Think about it. If you have focus very well, then you can direct that flashlight to to find whatever you want. Same kind of established, properly practiced, well-trained awareness we have to have. With the support of that training, that awareness, we can see through it, things as they are.
Would that be like an experiential awareness?
Yeah. Yes.
And you might have an experience about something, but that doesn't mean it's the whole experience. It could be the beginning of the next experience in that realm. Does that make any sense to you?
If you very simply understand, there's only one experience. There are no sequence of experiences.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So in the Buddhist view, when you're diagnosed with a terminal illness, right, do we fight it? so I am supporting a sister-in-law who has, probably at the end of her battle with cancer, right? What is the Buddhist view of, at what point do we stop with Western medicine and just,
Actually, from the Buddhist point of view, that there is no any medicine, physical, practical, that kind of in Buddhist practice. Only the medicine that you can use this teaching as a true medicine to heal your mind, because we cannot bring such a persistent and ultimate good health into this body. It is all the time very fragile. Always you have to maintain it. While you are having food, actually we forget about that and we enjoy the hunger. We enjoy the thirsty. That is the sad thing that we have trained ourselves. But if you are, what I'm telling here, it is not a satisfactory experience taking care of the body constantly. You have to maintain it. You have to. But when you focus your attention with the support of the teachings of the Buddha to the mind, actually, you can teach very gently, very nicely, and very deeply uh, to his or her mind to transform his or her mind into a spiritual level. That's what I have done in my life. Who are dying, I actually prepared myself. I am coming with you. You are not alone. Let's go together. And before we go, why don't we practice something precious and prepare ourselves right now instead of just dying? So we have a method to heal this, to remove the frustrations and all the psychological wounds in our mind. It's a long way journey, but before we die, we can do it. You have to learn first, and you have to be very close to him and into his life. You have to have a knowledge how to train his memories, and especially how to train to forgive. Those are the very basic, difficult mental transformation. Of course, we can heal them. We can heal ourselves. So we need this. But at that time, we cannot teach everything in detail. But very simply, we can train to let go. But you have to prepare truly to let go before you train others to letting go. So yes, I really enjoy. Uh, I mean, enjoy means not really in a bad intention, but really enjoy living with a dying person, because it is a precious moment. Who is going through some sort of unpleasant experience in their aspect, but if you are able to prepare yourself and you know how to deal with them, and then it is a pleasant moment. It is a pleasant moment. You have to be strong before somebody make strong. So this training, that is why I'm just focusing into this particular moment, who is having well-trained awareness to rescue himself, instead of being worried and having revenge and some other unnecessary negative thoughts, because those are the basic, simple, and very fundamental thoughts that we have trained in our mind. But in this case, this monk has gone through it and has come out from that circle, and he trained his full awareness to the moment and practice letting go. And it is a kind of, actually, this is not something totally again kind of religious practice. It is actually a spiritual practice. It is a spiritual practice, because I don't know about you, but I am dying. I know one day I die. So I have to get the responsibility about myself. No one can help at that age in our last leg of our life. No one can. Someone, if someone can, truly he or she is a really spiritual person. If there are such, they will help us, but still we have to take the responsibility to train ourselves, not to upset, not to excite, but to because both are not healthy status of your mind. But we have to deeply observe and understand this reality. It is a reality. It is something unavoidable. Because of all, yeah, it is common. We easily misguide and mislead. That is the nature of our mind, and also that is the nature of all other relationships that we have. But if you are able to, the only simple, it is very simple. What we can do, train your mind. But at the same time, you have to understand, I am not getting frustrated. I'm not unnecessarily excited. Keep your mind in balance when you are practicing this, because when you are doing practicing breathing meditation, actually there are instructions you can find in the teachings of the Buddha, 16 stages it explained in the breathing uh, meditation. The last the stage of that practice is letting go. So, if you are able to focus your attention to the in breath and out breath, practice the letting go. Oh, this is my last breath. Let it go. And this training will help you to, in one hand, to explore the teachings of the Buddha and associate with the spiritual people. That is the first thing that you can do. On the other hand, ultimate realization, because we all need this kind of realization as we human being. We have a precious moment in our life comparing to all other creatures around us. They are struggling only, but they always mention about only for four purposes: food, sleep, uh, giving birth to the other their species, and those are the basic needs that we all need. But if you are able to come out from that very simple uh, primary needs, and actually you can think about, oh, I'm a human being, what I can do before I die. This is not something, again, this is not something to be upset. This is not something to be really unnecessarily hurry. No hurries and no worries. but you have to slowly and gradually prepare yourself. Otherwise, this particular monk uh, could not come out from that experience. And also, it is a great teaching. He's providing us such a great, deep teaching. So, what happened actually later on? Some educated monk, but the anonymous, there is no name there. He has written wonderful stanzas, hundreds of stanzas. I will read couple of and show you what kind of thoughts comes into his mind when he was dying. In this stance, this book is called Tela Kataha Gata. Tel Katara में गाता when he was dying on the boiling water, the it is not water, it's oil. So boiling oil, he gave some verses. That is what this story and this book is called. But actually, even though I don't think that he gave any kind of stanza there, but he probably when we uh, uh, fund our deep attention into this actually, and also by the side of the we keeping the teachings of the Buddha by the side, and if you analyze this particular moment, actually he might be really experiencing the real deep experience of the death. So that is with that particular understanding, if he could deeply focus to the moment and uh, experience the death and practice the letting go, that is enough. But that might be the single incident happen in that boiling pot. But later on, they have written all those stanzas regarding this story. So that is why I don't think that this stanzas given uttered by this particular monk, it was compiled by somebody else. But in this entire poems, stanzas, totally talk about the reality of the life and how to practice the teachings of the Buddha and the values of the understanding of the Paticca Samuppada, dependent co-origination, and practicing Four Noble Truth, understanding the deep teachings of the Buddha. All those valuable teachings can be seen in these hundred stanzas. Bhante Metta is way better than me to chant nicely, but I do not want to bother him. I will try myself. And they are very nice stanzas. Bhante Vasanta Tilaka, the meter that they have used, only 1 meter has used to uh, compose these stanzas. Only 1 meter, hundreds verses in 1 meter. It is such a great dedication, and also have to be a really educated one to write it down in this way. Just listen the rhythm, just only rhythm. Uh, බුද්ධෝ සසාවක ගනු ජගදේකනාතෝ තාරාවලි පරියුතෝ පිච පුන්න චන්දෝ ඉන්දෝපි දේව මකුටං පිතපාද කංජෝ කෝපේන පින්ඩන සමෝ තිබවේ සුජාතෝ. That is how we can, if I asked Bhante, his voice, I'm not comparing, but his voice way better than this. And also my throat is dry now, so the meaning of this. Like the moon surrounded by stars stand the Buddha and his disciples, who have provided profound protection to the world, even Sakka, the king of the gods, who received the touch of the crowns of other gods, who among those born in these three realms would not be like a bubble of foam. So would not be like a bubble of foam. That is how he has trained his mind to understand this. I will repeat it third this stanza. Buddho sasavaka gano jagadekanato taravali pariyuto pichapunna chando Indo pideva makutang kitpada kanjo Kopena pindana samo tibave sujato. This way, hundreds the poems you can see there, and if you are able to read them in this rhythm, it will be because it in this rhythm actually it is very sensitive, and also it shows that the dying monk in boiling water is uttering somewhat sad in one hand, and on the other hand it is a victorious. It is a victorious, that because he is not suffering. He is not suffering with this pain. He is truly exposing into the situation and also experiencing and letting go. A lot of things is happening in a nanosecond in his mind. That is what the difficult part in our practice. Always you have to have ability to prepare yourself in any sudden moment. You have to prepare yourself. That is the ultimate practice of this. There are a number of stanzas you can read in your, if you are able to, I can give this wonderful translation. And also one of my teachers, actually, he has written this particular the Sinhalese translation into this poem, the stanzas like this. Yut pun sandin piriveru taru res valallin e sau sangun vorandana munidun vahanset Deusen hise kirulu ras kiranin vedum lat sak devuradun pen pindut veni vet siallo. The life is like a bubble of water. That is what he is very simply understood. So, if we train our mind to accept that reality, so I'm making some English poems for this, and this is how it's like the moon which stars, the Buddha stands with the noble disciples guarding lands. Even Sakka, king of gods in bloom, who in three realms is not like foam. Again, the like the moon surrounded by stars stand the Buddha and his disciples, who have provided profound protection to the world. Even Sakka, the king of gods, who received the touch of the crowns of other gods, who among those born in these realms would not be like bubble of foam. So in this entire book, you can see uh, he was, that is what it says, he was focusing his attention in one hand to the teachings of the Buddha, on the other hand to the real nature of the situation. Though it is really a tragic moment, he actually get out from this terrible circle, and so that is the ultimate result of this love letter. Usually, love letters are not giving you an interesting end result. But in this story, it has given a beautiful end. That is it produced arahant to the world. So my request is, if you practice these teachings of the Buddha slowly and gradually, without having unnecessary worries and unnecessary hurries, and be prepare yourself, and you exactly, no doubt about that, and you will be able to experience the real peace in death. It won't be a foreign experience in your life. It will be a really a pleasant journey in your life. That because yes, we cry when we are coming into this planet, in this world, but if you are still crying when you are leaving this world, it is not the goal in this practice. So you have to prepare all the time, and one day you will experience real pleasant experience of end of this journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Van.
And now we can move to a short meditation and our blessing chant. So before we go to our meditation, it's better to have some to relax your body, just being standing, spend some moment. And now we are going to end our online session. So thank you all our friends who joined our YouTube, and now we are having our blessing chant. See you in our next session.